You've got such a thing as a balloon about you. A balloon? Yeah, yes. I just said to myself, coming along, I wonder if Christopher Robin has such a thing as a balloon upon him. I just said it to myself, thinking of balloons and wonder. What do you want a balloon for? He said. Winnie the Pooh looked around to see that nobody was listening. He put his paw to his mouth. Said in a deep whisper, Honey. You don't get honey with balloons. I do, said Pooh. I do. Well, it just happened that you had been to a party the day before at the house of your friend Piglet, and you had balloons at the party. And you had a big green balloon, and one of the rabbits' relations had a big blue one, and left it behind, being really too young to go to the party at all. So you had brought the green one and the blue one home with you. Which one would you like? He asked Pooh. Put his head between his paws and thought very carefully. It's like this, he said. When you go after honey with a balloon, the great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you have a green balloon, they might think you are only part of the tree and not notice you. If you have a blue balloon, they might think you are only part of the sky and not notice you. And the question is, which is most likely? Wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon? You asked. They might, or they might not, said Winnie. You never can tell with bees. He thought for a moment and said, I shall try to look like a small black cloud. That will deceive them. Then you had better have the blue balloon, you said. And so it was decided. Well, you both went out with the blue balloon. And you took your gun with you. Your gun? Just in case. As you always did. And Winnie the Pooh went to a very muddy place that he knew of and rolled until he was black all over. And then when the balloon was blown up as big, you and Pooh were both holding on to the string, and he let go suddenly, and Pooh Bear floated gracefully up into the sky and stayed there, level with the top of the tree, and about 20 feet away from it. Hooray! He shouted. Isn't it fine? Isn't it fine? Shouted Winnie the Pooh down at you. What do I look like? You look like a bear holding on to a balloon, he said. Not, said Pooh anxiously. Not like a small black cloud in the blue sky. Not very much. Ah, well, perhaps from up here it looks different. And as I say, you never can tell with bees. No wind to blow him nearer the tree. So there he stayed. He could see the honey, but he couldn't smell the honey. But he couldn't quite reach the honey. After a little while, he called down to you. Christopher Robin, he said in a loud whisper. Hello. I think the bees suspect something. What sort of thing? I don't know, but something tells me they're suspicious. Perhaps they think that you're after their honey. It may be that. You can never tell with bees. There was another little silence, and then he called down to you again. Christopher Robin! Yes? Have you an umbrella in your house? I think so. I wish you'd bring it out here and walk up and down with it and look up at me every now and then and say, "Tut tut, looks like rain." You did that. It would help the deception, which we are practicing on the bees. Well, you laughed to yourself, silly old bear. But you didn't say it aloud because you were so fond of him, and you went home for your umbrella. Well, there you are, called down Winnie the Pooh. He's so fond of him, he won't even say he's silly. As soon as it's cute. As soon as you got back to the tree, I was beginning to get anxious. I discovered that the bees are now definitely suspicious. Shall I put my umbrella up? He said yes, but wait a minute. You must be practical. The important bee is to deceive is the queen bee. Can you see which is the queen bee from down there? No? A pity. Well now, if you walk up and down with your umbrella saying, "Tut tut, looks like rain," I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song, such as a cloud might sing. Go! So while you walked up and down and wondered if it would rain, Winnie the Pooh sang this song. How sweet to be a cloud. I don't know the song. How sweet to be a cloud, floating in the blue. Every little cloud, oh, I sing aloud. How sweet to be a cloud, floating in the blue. Makes me very proud to be a little cloud. The bees were still buzzing as suspiciously as ever. Some of them indeed left their nest and flew all around the cloud as it began the second verse of this song, and one bee sat down on the nose of the cloud for a moment, and then got up again. Robin, called out the cloud. Yes, I've just been thinking. I have come to a very important decision. These are the wrong sort of bees. Are they? Quite the wrong sort. So I should think they would make the wrong sort of honey, shouldn't you? Would they? Yes. So I think I shall come down. How? Asked you. Winnie the Pooh hadn't thought about this. If he let go of the string, he would fall. Bump. And he didn't like the idea of that. So he thought for a long time, and then said, Christopher Robin, you must shoot the balloon with your gun. Have you got your gun? Of course I have, he said. But if I do that, it will spoil the balloon, he said. But if you don't, said Pooh, I shall never have let go, and that would spoil me. I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me. When you put it like this, you saw how it was, and you aimed very carefully at the balloon. It's going to fall no matter what. You aimed very carefully at the balloon and fired. "Oh," said Pooh. "Did I miss?" you asked. "You didn't exactly miss," said Pooh, "but you missed the balloon." "So very sorry," he said. You had fired again, and this time you hit the balloon, and the air came. Okay, I'm sitting there. Slowly out, and Winnie the Pooh floated down the ground. But arms were so stiff from holding onto the string of the balloon all the time that they stayed up straight in the air for more than a week. And so whenever a fly came and settled on his nose, he had to blow it off. And I think, but I am not sure, that is why he was always called Pooh. "Is that the end of the story?" asked Christopher Robin. "That's the end of that one. There are others about Pooh and me, and Piglet and Rabbit and all of you. Don't you remember?" "I do remember." And then when I try to remember, I forget. This old copy. My house. Wait, this was making me laugh. Just so big. Remember we were saying we had so many names. Remember, first his name. His name's Edward Bear. But there's really, Winnie the Pooh is a polar bear. He's named after a polar bear named Winnie at the zoo. But his name is Edward Bear, and he was given the name Pooh by a swan. Pooh was a swan's name that flew away, and he said, "I would like the name Pooh because it sounds elegant and I like it," or something. So Winnie's a polar bear. He's a polar bear with the name of a swan, but his name is Edward Bear, and he lives in a house. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, a very long time ago now, about last Friday, Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest all by himself, under the name of Sanders. "What does under the name mean?" asked Christopher Robin. "It means he had the name over the door. It means he had the name over the door in gold letters and lived under it." Sanders. Winnie the Pooh wasn't quite sure. Said Christopher Robin. "Now, what?" Now, this is a lot going on. "Look at him in the tree. It's cute." So Winnie the Pooh went around to his friend Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest. "Good morning, Christopher Robin," he said. "Good morning, Winnie the Pooh," said you. There's no boot. I'm looking up in the sky. Hey, 61. That's old nice copy, isn't it cute? Oh yeah. I think these would be sexy. Put the bows. Could put the bows in my thighs. That'd be cute. Put them over my titties. I think bows would be cute. Instagram we used a long time ago. I never used them for a special occasion. It's like, look at it. It's like Yennefer in the orgy room. She's sitting in the middle of the orgy room. With this on. I like that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes. Man, having passionate love on top of a stuffed unicorn.